down the playoff picture, but Ian Rappaport joining us. The Raiders lost Derek Carr early last night. Welcome to the show, Ian, and happy Friday. What is the latest with Derek Carr?
Well, John Gruden, the Raiders coach, addressed this right after the game, saying it was not a tear, which is good. It means it did not tear off the bone, but he described it as a significant pull for Derek Carr. He's going to get some tests today, going to get an MRI, so there's no definitive diagnosis or timeline on this groin pull that he suffered right here, clearly in pain, clearly pulling up. And for any other time of year, this would be something we're probably out a couple weeks and then be able to return. But there's only 2 games left for the Raiders, and if this keeps Derek Carr out for next week, then obviously there is a chance that we have seen the last of him this season, just based on where we are this year. So, yeah, we could see Marcus Mariota, who, remember, was the 3rd-string quarterback for several weeks for the Raiders, losing out to Nathan Peterman in practice. Unbelievable, but actually true. We could see Marcus Mariota for the final 2 games for the Raiders as he tries to stake his claim potentially to a starting job somewhere in the NFL in the 2021 season.
And he looked good last night under the bright lights, having to roll himself out there and try to get it done here for this team that now sits at 7-7. They stay, Ian, in the 9 seed in the playoff picture. Thanks so much. We'll talk to you in a bit. Let's give you guys out there watching, and thanks for choosing us this morning, of course. Little glance and peek at this thing. Yep, Raiders, they're at 500. They need a lot of help to get to the postseason. Nate, what do you make of the Chargers leaving Las Vegas with a W?
I love it. I love it. You know, it's funny because the Chargers leave Las Vegas with the win, and every time I leave Vegas, I leave my Charger and I lose all my money. So it's a bizarre world when I visit Vegas. But, you know, anytime I watch the Chargers, I'm convinced more and more that Justin Herbert is the future. He's not just a really good quarterback right now. He's not just the rookie that we love to see. No, his career is on the right track, and he has it all. He has the big frame, the big arm, and he has command. I don't care if he doesn't talk as much as you want him to. I don't care if he's not as animated as some of our other quarterbacks in the NFL. But when he's on that field in between those lines, he's a perfect leader, and he's a perfect fit for this squad. You know, I love watching Justin Herbert because every time he dropped back and threw the ball, I thought this could be a big shot. It's like every time he takes a swing, it could be a home run. And that's the type of quarterback as a wide receiver that I love to watch. On the flip side, I was so excited to say Marcus Mariota's name when I woke up. I just saw him out there on the field, and I missed him. I mean, there was something about, you know, Marcus's disposition where he's just kind of chill, but then he has this very fiery side. And I think now more than ever, Marcus Mariota is playing with a different type of energy because he knows this right here is the building block for what could be the second act of his career.
Yeah, and it was pretty cool to see all the Titans players tweeting about Mariota. Like, you could tell there was still so much love for him back in Tennessee, even though Tannehill's their guy and they've moved on. Back to Herbert, though, because, Kyle, you could break down just how weird and odd this game was. I mean, at the end there was missed kicks, there was mismanagement of the clock, there were strange play call decisions, there were wardrobe malfunctions in Week 15 on national TV. But the story for me is Herbert. And I could do flips. I could tell you about, like, every time he throws a ball, like, it looks great. And I'm not anybody to talk about it. How about a Hall of Fame quarterback in the booth, oohing and eyeing? Take a listen to Aikman on this one pass to Hunter Henry and how impressed Troy was. 3-time Super Bowl champion, Hall of Famer.
This guy is impressive. One, that he can move at his size. You know, typically you see guys 6'6". They just aren't really that athletic in the way in which they move. They're a little awkward. He's not. He's very fluid. It's just a perfect pass. He gets out, and it was good coverage. And when he turned it loose, I'm thinking there's no way he's going to be able to complete this one. He just threw it perfectly.
It was 60 minutes of that. It was oohing and eyeing over a quick. And it's not like Aikman doesn't have Rodgers and Mahomes and Brady every week. He's got the prime game. Right. Every Thursday night, every Sunday. Herbert was amazing last night. This pass was incredible. The touchdown pass. There's one pass on a pass to Guyton late in the game that was like a perfect dime. This kid Herbert is set up for the future. The Chargers are set up with a quarterback. Look, their coaching decisions might be horrendous. They might be playing in front of an empty stadium this season with no fans at SoFi, and it might have been a lost season. But if there's one thing the Chargers can look to, they have a building block for the future, and Justin Herbert is the real deal.
We're going to be talking about Herbert for a long time. It was great last night again. Let's talk about the Raiders for a second. The Raiders showed a lot of heart last night, which I really appreciate. Their quarterback gets knocked out. Hunter Renfrow gets knocked out. They didn't have Henry Ruggs, and they battled, including up to the final sequence of the game, which I thought had a lot of weirdness to it. Let's get into this for a second, because the Chargers are about to punch this thing in. You see Herbert running. He's going to take a hit here from Nick Kwiatkowski. He's on 1st and goal. Watch the late flag atop by the official. This was a tough call. And by tough, I mean really bad. Watch the reverse angle. Kwiatkowski comes in. His head is sort of tilting down. He's a former special teams player who is very smart. They flagged him for a personal foul to give a new 1st down. I hated it. Now, this fumble is unbelievable. The rule here is when Herbert fumbles, only he can recover it to advance the ball. So when a teammate recovers, they wave it off. It's a very strange rule. And then they go, Herbert gets hit in the teeth. The Raiders did everything they could possibly could. They really, really tried, and it got very strange, and I don't think that call went in their favor. I earned some respect for the John Gruden Raiders last night. But also, we have a few rules here in Good Morning Football, and one of them is ask about the hat. This hat thing is so strange. To the Raiders reporters, to Omar Ruiz on this network, can we please get some answers? Because John Gruden goes out wearing an Oakland Raiders hat. This is strange enough. Do you know what he said after the game? He said, I apologize, and, quote, somebody played a pretty good trick on me, end of quote. So is there some Christmas season Krampus prankster amidst who is pulling hijinks on the head coach? What the hell? And why is an Oakland Raiders hat even lying around the stadium to be used? There's 50 different angles to this. There is a genuinely weighty symbolism to it as well about failure to move on, living in the past. I'm sure there are many people in the Bay Area who raised a fist to that moment as if it was their V for Vendetta strike against moving the team. I cannot believe that happened. I'm surprised that when Gruden changed at halftime, he didn't come out in a Los Angeles Raiders hat and go 0 for 2. But huge credit to Anthony Lynn on the other side for not wearing a San Diego Chargers visor. And if I'm the Raiders, the Las Vegas Raiders, I'm giving a game ball to whatever equipment intern hopped in an Uber to the shops at Mandalay Bay to find a lids store to purchase a Las Vegas Raiders hat for the head coach, because that was really weird and we need answers.
I want to hear what Kay has to say as well, but just real quick, like week 15, season on the line, playoffs on the line, everything's going for it. And there's someone pulling a prank and doing tomfoolery about a ball cap. But that to me is a bit of an